Guten Tag. My name is Jim Paetsch. I am so sorry that we're not able to get together live and in person this year for German Career Day. COVID has made that impossible, and it's certainly made everything in our lives just that much more difficult. But nonetheless, I was hoping it would be helpful to put together this video to explore the two topics that you see there on the screen. So first, we'll talk some about the historical, cultural, and economic connections between Milwaukee and Germany. And we're really going to emphasize those economic connections. And that leads right into the second bullet point, and that's we'll explore how those German language and cultural skills that you're working so hard to build today, how that hard work is going to pay off for you in the future, and specifically how it'll help you as you think about your career options in the years to come. So a little bit about my organization. I work for the Milwaukee 7. We are the regional economic development entity for all of southeastern Wisconsin. Lots of things that Milwaukee 7 does. My work for the organization really focuses on directly working with companies that are thinking about where globally they're going to place jobs and capital investment. So it's competitive work. We're oftentimes going up against other parts of the world that are equally interested in getting those jobs and that capital spend. And our job really is to win as many of those projects as we can. So the way to think about the work I do, I'm essentially a recruiter of companies to our region. So my work takes me certainly all over the world, and a big part of that work historically has been in Europe. So Germany is a place where we have gotten a lot of investment from and been able to bring German companies here. We'll talk a little bit more about some of those in just a moment, but other parts of Europe as well, really, really interesting places with terrific companies that are thinking about where they want to set up operations in the United States. We want to be on their radar for as many of those projects as we possibly can. So if I'm sitting in your chair, I think one of the things I would be wondering about is how will my knowledge of German language and culture help me into the future? Certainly, it's a class that you're taking now and you're investing a lot of time and energy into it. That has its own benefits in and of themselves, but also, if I were you, I would be thinking about ways in which this might benefit me in the years to come. So let's start to first talk about what is the connection between Milwaukee and Germany. So I'll start with demographics, and this is a really interesting statistic. Fully 40% of Milwaukeeans today, so this is the population of Milwaukee as it exists right now, they are of German ethnicity. That is the highest concentration in the entire United States among large metropolitan areas. Lots of other connections that you're well aware of. So we've got lots of influence of German food that's here. If you look around the architecture, particularly in downtown Milwaukee, you can certainly see evidence of the Germans there. And you can also see it in our politics and also in some of our cultural institutions, including our love of music here. All of these are legacies from the Germans. But I want to talk about something else that the Germans left us, and that's really how the economics of what the Germans brought really have started to shape our perception of Milwaukee. That influence of economics is really woven tightly into the regional DNA. So what do I mean by that? So as a starting point, I thought it might be helpful just to explore this concept of the ways in which place and economics intertwine each other in terms of the identity of particular places. So let's give a few examples. So New York, when you think about New York, probably a lot of things come to mind. You probably think about a huge metropolitan area with a big skyline. Maybe you think about Broadway. Maybe if you've been to New York, maybe you think about lots of traffic jams. But one of the things that New York is known for, and it's really tied up in that identity, is its stature as a financial capital. So Wall Street, of course, is based in New York. New York is not only a financial center here in the United States, but it's really the global financial center. A lot of New York's identity, not to mention a lot of the wealth and employment that are generated there, come directly from its designation as a financial center. All right, let's go all the way over to the West Coast of the United States and think about Los Angeles. So lots of things LA is known for. Maybe you think about beaches and sun. You might think about smog, like New York. You might also think a little bit about traffic, but chances are you also think about entertainment. Los Angeles is really the global entertainment capital. And it's not just radio, or excuse me, not just film and television, but it's also music. So I think about when I go to Germany, I haven't been to Germany since COVID started, but when I go, I'll have a rental car going between places, and I'll get in the car and turn the radio on. Invariably, the music that the Germans listen to is music that's made right here in the United States. That is one of the great exports of the United States, and particularly Los Angeles, to the rest of the world. And it's very much tied into the identity for Southern California. Let's come back here to the Midwest and talk a little bit about our neighbor to the east, Detroit. So lots of things that Detroit is known for, but probably the most important thing that they're known for, and the thing that most of us are aware of, is certainly their role as the auto center of the United States. So the big three automakers are all based there. There's certainly auto production now from other companies in other parts of the United States. But Detroit continues to be a really important center for automotive technology and manufacturing. There's a reason why Detroit is still known as the Motor City. So how about Milwaukee? How about your hometown? What do you think about in terms of economics when you give thought to Milwaukee? And if you sit for just a moment and go through it, I'll bet you come up with exactly the right thing, and that is manufacturing. We make things in Milwaukee. It is part of our heritage and who we are, and it continues to be a really important component of our identity today. And who do we have to thank for that? Absolutely the Germans, who first came here and brought a lot of the manufacturing technologies, the entrepreneurship that today really shape the regional economy. So these are old pictures of manufacturing in Milwaukee. I can tell you that lots of places around the United States have pictures just like this, but that's all they are. They're just pictures. They're reminders of a time that's long gone by. Not in Milwaukee. We continue to be America's manufacturing leader. We make highly engineered, sophisticated products, and those products are made for demanding global customers, and they reach every corner of the world. And if you think about the continuity of this over time, so as I mentioned, the Germans brought that manufacturing over 100 years ago, and look at that statistic today. In the state of Wisconsin, we continue to have the absolute highest concentration of manufacturing employment of any of the 50 states here in the U.S. All right, so let's go over the ocean here. We'll travel over the Atlantic. And when we think about what do the Germans continue to do better than anybody else in the economic sphere? Absolutely no surprise there, manufacturing. So just like us, the Germans are known for making things. They're known for developing technologies that make things more efficient. And again, these are best-in-class products that are used by consumers and businesses all over the world. So you see some names up there that I know are familiar to you. These are terrific German companies that absolutely are setting the pace for their industries, and it's a wide variety of products that they make. So just like us, the Germans are known for manufacturing, and they really put a high value on it, and it's something that's woven into their identity, just like it's woven into ours. So again, come back over here now the other way, back to the United States. So we have a lot of German companies that have significant operations here in the Milwaukee area. I have some logos up there on the screen of those German companies. That's just a partial list, but these companies see a real affinity to being in southeastern Wisconsin, largely because there's some cultural similarities, but also the German work ethic, which is alive and well in the Milwaukee area. But much more importantly, it's that deep appreciation of manufacturing, the engineering culture, all of the things that are important to somebody that's going to make things, whether it's here in Milwaukee, in Germany, or anywhere else in the world. And I'm really proud to tell you that we added to that list of German companies recently. So we recruited Harrybo to set up their very first North American production facility here in southeastern Wisconsin. So I suspect most of you are familiar with Harrybo. If you're not, they make these little bags of happiness that you see up there on the screen, gummy candies in every imaginable shape, color, and flavor. This is a rendering of the facility that they currently are constructing right now down in Pleasant Prairie. So if you're not familiar with Pleasant Prairie, go south on Interstate 94 from Milwaukee, go through Racine County, and then get to Kenosha County. And right there on the western side of Interstate 94, you'll see this facility coming out of the ground. When it's completely done, and it will be done soon, it will be among the 3 largest confectionery plants in the entire United States. All right, so let's conclude with this. Why should, if I'm you, I'm asking, why should I care about any of this stuff? Well, let me tell you why. It's because all of this is going to create a lot of economic opportunity that you, as a person who has German cultural knowledge and German language knowledge and proficiency, you are able to take advantage of some of these opportunities and the synergy that exists between Milwaukee and Germany, perhaps more than your colleagues who are either taking other languages or no language at all, what they'll be capable of doing. So globalization is what really creates these opportunities. So it values people with the things that you are developing right now. Again, that language and cultural knowledge. Secondly, Germany is a good pick if you're going to learn one of the European languages. Germany, if you look at the EU and that trading bloc, Germany is absolutely the strongest country within that bloc. Also, Germany is a massive exporter of goods and services. So why is that important? Well, it means that the Germans have operations all over the world, which means they have a great and deep need for talented people who can work for those operations. And the other thing that I'll tell you is that some of this goes the other way. Many U.S. companies that service the European market, so these would be a manufacturer that's based here or a service provider that's based here. They've got customers over in Europe. They oftentimes will service those customers from some sort of base and operations in Germany. So that positions you really well to take advantage, again, of some of those hard-earned skills that you're working on right now. So I say to you, congratulations. Congratulations for the terrific work, for the fortitude and the stick-to-itiveness to continue along your studies in German. I wish you the best of luck, and here's hoping that we get together in person next year. Thank you. Bye-bye.